as a kid, I just roamed all these mountains here. I mean, all over. Either hunting or squirrels or birds or something, or just hiking, just out and around. So I've hiked about every bit of it, trying to think about if I was, how old I was, but I think it probably between 9 and 12 years old. Me and a couple of friends, or a friend, run onto these writings and seen them on the wall up there on the rocks. So we just,
well, how old are you now then?
69.
Okay.
So about somewhere around 60 years I've been keeping these kind of a secret. And I guess I've been kind of protective of them.
Most
because
people
I didn't want them destroyed.
Most people that find them are that way. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That the ones when you finally find out about them, the people that know about them, they've kept them quiet.
I just felt like they was mine.
Yeah. And
I give a lot of thought to it about showing people, and I've even considered maybe calling the University of Nevada in Reno or something, see if anybody's interested in them up here, and have them. But I just feel they're Indian writings. I don't know. And then I took some pictures of them. My grandson's been living with us, and he's kind of taken an interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed him the pictures, and then I gave him the coordinates so he could find them. And he come down and took a few pictures of them, put them on the website, and then he pulled some pictures off the website of Ogden and then Cedar City and Fillmore, places like that. And I was amazed.
So you had no idea until recently that there was others like it.
Well, yeah, and same figures.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly.
Exact. Yep.
Exactly
Exact.
the same figures.
Yep.
And I was just amazed. So I figured, hey, they all got to be tied in.
They definitely are.
A person did not do these here and another person there and use the same figures.
Yep.
So we've kind of become interested, especially my wife has got involved in it, and she does more hiking than I do around. So, but like I say, I've been quite protective of them, and I wanted to tell everybody here that, hey, we don't want them destroyed, or I don't want them destroyed.
And the knowledge of them out, because then they do get destroyed. So
they do.
Yes.
And but I want other people to enjoy them too.
Yeah.
You know, people that are really interested, I want them to enjoy them too. But, so I've decided that, yeah, let's bring them out. And I've not looked around up there, around the actual rocks, or in the rocks, or anything else. I just been up to them several times with my wife once, and my grandson's been there, and then I took a friend from school up there once, but he didn't seem too interested in them either. So.
Well, what did you and your friend, when you first found them, what did you think at the time? What was kind of your thought?
We've seen other Indian writings, or had seen other Indian writings and things, and we had just assumed there was Indian writings. And we was of the age where it didn't seem that important to us.
Yeah.
And, here they are. Just see them and went on our way. We looked at them and things, marveled at them, but we didn't think of any significance to them. There's Indian writings all over. So we just let them go. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've and seen these others, and seen there's got to be a connection somewhere along the way.
There's a huge mystery, and there's definitely a connection.
Right.
They're all related.
Yeah.
They're all related.
Carved quite deep. And then
how meticulously they've been carved, just neatly done. I mean, yeah.
And my grandson was up there, and he brought back just a rock that was laying on the ground, the same type of rock.
Yeah.
He brought it back. We took a chisel.
Tried to do it?
And I tried to, and it didn't even phase the rock.
Really?
So there's just nothing that can duplicate it as far as I can tell. We've taken rocks and pounded on them, on another rock, not on the writings.
Yeah, right.
But on
another rock, just to
piece
see.
of rock
Yeah.
that's laying there.
Yeah.
So I've tried to duplicate that, and you just can't cut the rock like that. And I don't know how they did. I have no idea how they did.
Yeah. But how long ago did you first show Mary Sue them?
Well, I knew about them for probably 35, 40 years before.
Just about 8 years ago.
I took my sons and we went up there and hunted for them, and I couldn't find them a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then I took Mary up one time, and we did find them.
When you
and
first...
At that time, we took some pictures of them. And then this is my daughter and son-in-law coming here.
What did you think when you first seen them, Mary? Did you... Any first opinions of them?
I knew they were unique because they weren't sprawled.
Come sit down.
They weren't sprawled all over. They were
This is
tidy.
Sean.
I thought
And Wendy
such
Sue.
a tidy,
Don't
neat
even read.
Indian had made these. And I was
Good.
so pleased that I had seen these in a contained amount of space, and they were so tidy. And I've always loved Indian and the Indian writings, and we have traveled all about seeing Indian writings, and I've always loved Indian writings and thinking about their history.
So you thought they were Indian writings when you seen them? Because when I first seen things like this, I thought, these don't look like any Indian stuff that I've ever seen.
Well, they have their teepees.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
they
true.
have
You had the...
Their buffalo.
Yeah, you had the teepees here, so that would make it, you
And-
think, more Indian.
And in front of one teepee, there's a drying rack with some jerky hanging on it. And so we know that there's plentiful deer out here. Bob, as a hunter, has shot many a deer and helped other people from California shoot deer, and is a real hunter. We know that deer is very plentiful out here. So naturally you see teepees and
Yeah, you would assume
deer,
that.
and you think Indians. And the coyote howling was fun to see in the writing. You think of the wolves out here. There's lots of coyotes out here. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think, you do have the teepees. The one I found had nothing like that at all, so I never thought Indian at all, but I guess with the teepees and that, you would think that.
There's 3 teepees together up there, so you think a little village. And then I was going to say, as a child, we had a gentleman that lived out in the Eagle Valley who would come to dinner with us each Sunday, and he knew of Indians out there a bit. And I always wanted to hear Indian stories because my father would tell us Jacob Hamlin's stories as a child. But anyway, I always wanted to know. There is a site out in Eagle Valley where an Indian in more recent times, I know, because it's a picture of George Washington on, and it's done with oil.
Oh, really?
Out there, and you had to look real hard to find it. And because it was fading so, my brother had that restored a few years ago.
How far away is that from here?
About 18 miles.
18 miles. Which way, Bob?
It's a little north and east.
North and east. Also...
Yeah, I'd probably like to see that before we go, wouldn't you?
You really have to know where to look.
Okay.
Because it's across the field, and it's a flat ledge, and there's a kind of a crack goes along. Kind of a section, and then it's got a little black triangle there. Hello. And it's right by that. So it's across the valley. I used to work on that ranch out there, putting up hay and moving cattle around and cleaning irrigation ditches, things. And
Wendy, go over and get Phil, that man in the red shirt. Another thing is, I had a school teacher that collected arrowheads. My second grade teacher, I knew that she went out and collected arrowheads. She had a beautiful collection of arrowheads in a case. But for us to know that there were Indian villages here, we didn't really know that
Yeah.
there were of history past of Indian villages. I want to tell you that Jacob Hamlin was brought by the Indians from Santa Clara to see silver in its raw form.
Oh, really?
And it was in its raw form. Much silver has come out of our mines here.
So, was it a pure tin horn type silver that he's seen?
Yes.
Did they get pure silver here, or was it something that they had to crush rocks and refine? And it was a pure silver.
It is said to be in its pure form
Interesting.
of silver. And then, since then, it's been manganese and lead. Lead is very beautiful.
Lead and zinc.
The lead rock is very beautiful.
So they had pure lead here too, or
Lead and zinc here
Lead and
was
zinc.
mined here.
so is to your knowledge, were you basically the only one that knew about this? The other people talked about it, but not that you know
I've
of.
asked people. Actually, I've talked to other people around the valley, people that's been here a long time. Even Farrell, I've told you about them Indian writings,
Up here on the hill?
and nobody knows about them that I know of.
Yeah.
And I told Nelson Blake,
Uh-huh.
and
And actually, before Nelson couldn't climb the hill anymore, we walked all over that hill one day with him. But we were walking too far around the other side.
Yeah,
We didn't get around
probably.
here on the north.
yeah, yeah, and it just about pretty much faces us right here.
Yeah.
And I think I showed you where it's
Yeah,
at
you
from the
did.
ballpark one day.
You did.
Point
You showed
it
me
out.
where to go.
So,
I just never got up there after that.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of petroglyphs.
and it will take us a little.
Thousands of them.
Is there?
Yeah.
But none like these, probably. There's
Well-
only a few of these scattered throughout the western United States.
Anyhow.
Well, we'll look at them, and then Farrell, you've seen these others around the area too. So.
Yeah. I might be able to tell you the
Compare 'em with
tribe and
them.
the time.
Cool.
And it'll be kind of a hike when we're going to have to take our time.
Okay.
Jerry had a little bit of heart problems, I guess, and
Oh, Jerry did?
he's not going to be able to jog up there. So-
Yeah.
And I've got some new knees, so I won't be able to jog up there.
Farrell has new hips.
Yeah. So
Oh, there's in the valleys.
These are a unique type. These are a unique type
yeah,
of
man,
writing.
look, see if there's anything like them after he
Yeah.
sees these.
Okay. I'll
Then
see
he
if I can read it.
Maybe tell you. Let me introduce you. This is Farrell Lytle and Terry Carter.
Terry Carter, pleased to meet you,
How do
Farrell.
you
And Sean
Davies.
Davies. Okay. Sean
Sean.
Davies.
Well,
And-
they're usually around here. They'll be either Paiute or they'll be Fremont. And the Paiute are in the last 500 years, and the Fremont are 1,000 years.
Ah,
And if you get something older than that, we don't know what to call them, so we call them archaic,
yeah,
meaning old.
yeah. Well, these, most people have classified them as historic or modern.
Because they're so tidy, I think.
Yeah, because they're so neatly done. They're done with a chisel.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah, they're not done. They're not pecked in. They're carved in.
Well,
they're-
then it's a minor.
That's what.
Some
that's
people
what
say that.
people say that.
Yeah. Anyhow.
There's only 25 sites right now we know of.
This
Well.
will be number 25.